legendary moments will be captured. So stand up, scream, and make sure the boys feel you.
And the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys? Yeah!
What is going on, Cowboy Nation? Welcome back to Primetime Studios. Like always, I'm your host, Primetime Phil, and I am excited. I got football in the air. There is things to talk about. There's things to watch on TV. There's things to rewatch. There's things to talk about. There's things to trash about. So it's all over the place. And, of course, big news. Mark and Bryan, of course, coming from Canton, Ohio with a Hall of Fame game. And, of course, going through the Hall of Fame, I can't even imagine. But welcome, Game Time. Welcome to the show. Happy Sunday. An actual Sunday.
Happy Sunday, man. You know what I did today? Not much.
Yeah,
I ended up
good.
catching up on my sleep, but it was a really fun time, man. It really was. A lot of sitting, but, driving, sitting at a game, sitting at a ceremony. But the highlight was definitely walking through the hall, man. You got to get there one day. It was awesome. It's a small little quaint town. They're doing a lot around there. It was just awesome, man. Really cool.
That's awesome. I definitely am jelly, just because, it's definitely something I've even told my girl. It's just that's just a part of history that you just want to be able to walk through to see. So even when I saw you had some photos, with Pat Tillman there, that whole thing.
Yeah, I got stuff I'll be uploading. I'm gonna trickle it in, but yeah, it was very, very good, man.
Yeah,
we had a great time. We'll get there.
Yeah.
We will get there again.
And congratulations, man. Your numbers really good. Mark and you definitely pushed that numbers. I'm definitely happy. I saw your numbers. I was like, look at that.
Burn my ass.
He is, man. Hey, you deserve it.
Burn me.
Everybody deserves it.
Well, I already have a deal with Phil, and we might have to change that.
Yeah, we might have to.
Now that
just because now that we're monetized, yeah.
Now that we're monetized over here, what up, Gina Dallas Diva? Maybe we wait until I get 500 and do it together.
Okay. Yeah, I like it. I like it.
Or I'll simulcast it, whatever. But maybe we do that. And I do got the little nitro, and maybe you get one, and then we'll save that for 1,000.
Okay. I like that. I like that idea.
Now he brought it up. I'm like, I already have it with Phil. He goes, well, I have plenty at home. I'm like, yeah, but it's probably stale.
Yeah, he's just bringing it up.
Not only will I light my fire, my mouth up, but I'll probably be in the hospital with food poisoning. That probably thing's probably old now. But
he'll be.
It was fun.
You can't go hang out with him because then he'll just be like, if this guy makes 3 field goals today, then you got to eat one of these chips. And you're like, well,
Speaking of field goals, I'm gonna send you a picture. I'll send it to you after the show. But right outside of Canton, I don't know who else in the chat. Isaac Ramirez, what's up, my man? I don't know who else has been to Canton. It's just like you're literally driving down a highway, and it is smaller than you would think. Mm-hmm. Like everything, right?
I can imagine.
Like everything we know. But when you pull in, then it's not. They really build up. But what they have right across the street from the Hall of Fame, they have these. It's right near these power lines, right? You have. I don't know if you have them in Florida. You probably do. But these big steel, huge steel. They used to be on telephone poles. Now they use these big steel poles to have the power lines. Right near the Hall of Fame, they have goalpost power lines. They got two of them on either side of the street. They're identical to, they're yellow, and the power lines are going through it, but they're goalposts. It's just like little touches like that are really cool.
That's awesome.
Really cool.
That is awesome. As we go over here, looks like Lord Nova was the first to come through, followed by Chris.
Tell him what he's won.
Yeah, exactly. Chris May, of course, is in the house. Brooklyn Joe, it's always great to see you. Stacy, which Stacy had her review as well today. Her Roland's review. And
I'm going to watch it, Stace. I was sleeping.
There was some stuff. She had some single, living single trivia, which, I was at that age where I watched it, but I can't remember it like that. And so I was like, I don't know anything. Yeah. But, of course, Cowboys Mafia in the house, and he loves talking about training camp. And he's talking about, I was at training camp yesterday. There's a kid, Eric Scott, was looking good. Thoughts? And man, we talked about Eric Scott. That's another guy. is another guy we like. Do you want to cover him and I can follow it up?
Go ahead, man. I talk too much. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, yeah, we all know that, but that's kind of why everybody tunes in. You know, we want to hear it. No, I was going to say.
Go ahead.
Eric Scott, I'll start it off. The first name that comes to mind when you hear about Eric Scott is, of course, Bland from last year. You know, a late-round draft pick that the coaches were talking about. Al Harris was talking about, okay, watch this kid. You know, I don't know how many, we were thinking about it. I don't know how many opportunities he's really going to get just because, the secondary was kind of building up a little bit there. And, of course, you were trying to figure out what you had with a guy like Bossman Fat. And so then all of a sudden this guy comes out of Bland. He's picking off interceptions. He's picking off passes. And then you're like, okay, by the end of the year, he's definitely a solid person to fill in for Anthony Brown and Jordan Lewis. And so going into this year, that was the name you heard, Eric Scott. Eric Scott, this guy's going to be a late round. He's a lot like Bland. He's going to, and in training camp, that's what you're hearing, man. You're not hearing any kind of disappointment. I don't want to talk too much about him because I want Bryan to cover him as well too. But tell us, what do you think about Eric Scott?
Eric Scott, I've heard nothing but great things since the moment he's walked in our door. Excuse me. But yeah, the dude his story is incredible. Like the young receiver, but that I've been touting. I don't know if you play.
Yeah, Jalen Brooks.
Talking about him, but yeah, Jalen Brooks. But we'll get to him. Eric Scott, man, fast, smart. He was brought up in a military family, moved around a lot. He started out at a small school. It's just things. But Dan Quinn did his due diligence on him. He's the guy that ran a 4.7 at the combine, and the teams who didn't do their due diligence and realized he was dealing with a soft tissue injury. Dallas has been following him for the better part of a year.
Mm-hmm.
So they got themselves a winner. With Eric Scott. That when they pull off Gilmore and Diggs, when he is the guy that's coming in to play the outside. Bland, they're really trying to get him locked in on the inside. Our depth is incredible.
Yeah,
incredible.
I would agree. And when I talk about him, I think that's just another piece. You got two guys, when you got Gilmore, and of course you got Diggs. I would still be concerned, even if I have those guys. I would still be concerned about my number 3 and my number 4 corners. So, having a guy like Bland taking in that third corner spot, you're like, okay, now a guy like Eric Scott, boom, going into that fourth one. Whether Bossman Fat is a burnt man toast or whatever, whatever he's doing, bring up the tail, or if there's somebody else that's coming in there and sneaking in and grabbing that. I wouldn't hold too much on Kevin Jones.
I don't care what McCarthy says. I don't think unless you're not keeping
CJ
or other special, CJ, good one. I don't see how you keep this kid. There's too many good players in camp. But go ahead, man.
I was gonna go back to the chat because we got in here Gina, Dallas Diva, of course, Isaac Ramirez, welcome. Alana Walker, or how do you say it?
Elena. What's up, Elena
Walker?
How are you? Thanks for stopping by.
You got Glimmerman, of course, the Godfather himself. Mark Holmes is in the house. Ruben Walls.
Ultra? Are you able to see Ultra?
I am actually. I don't see him. No, I don't.
He just made a comment. What's up, Game Time? What are you doing to Ultra Cowboy?
Dude, I don't know, man. I think maybe he's blocking me. Did you ever think about that? Maybe he says I'm done with Phil's commentary, and so I'll go back. At least now I know. I know what if it's happening.
Okay.
At least I can go back.
Bland and Scott are on the product of Will McClay. Joseph and Wright were DQ's picks. Ultra Cowboy. What's up, Game Time? Yeah, listen, I love Nashawn Wright's having a real good camp.
Mm-hmm.
I like that kid.
Yeah, he's tall. Yeah, like a gazelle.
I heard McCarthy talking a lot about boss man Fat, but it was a lot of coach speak. I don't think he's making the team unless they're just going to allow him. Like I said, you can't. I'm over the. We got to keep multiple special teams guys.
Unless we're still doing a Make-A-Wish Foundation type stuff.
Yeah, William Tilton. Thank you so much, man, for all your nice comments.
What's going on, William? Thank you for coming in. I see Ultra Cowboy. There it is. I see it. I see it. It took a moment. I don't know why.
I was worried. I was worried, man.
I don't know why. It did delay. I think he was messing with me. I think that's what it is.
He's probably messing with you.
So of course, Lady
Cowboy.
Libra, DC for life is in the house. I want to make sure we get everybody because we got Loyal Cowboy in here. Of course, Ultra Cowboy. And we got Super Chat from Loyal Cowboy. Thank you, Loyal Cowboy. Keep up the good work. Y'all, another guy that we love to have coming on here, and definitely, there's been times where I've been really busy with work, and so he's always giving you that. Hey, look at this guy. This guy's.
We gotta get him on here. He's busy getting ready to get married. I think it's in a few months, but he's busy.
Then
too,
that means
we
he's
need to get on
stressed
the
out.
same page, and he always has some good takes. Did you guys see me, Mark, at Space Cowboy? Did you happen to see that?
I seen a lot of your videos. I don't remember that one though. I got to go back
live.
there.
It was one of Mark's. It was Mark's Friday Night Live from the hotel. We talked to Space for, and I got
to look at back on that one then.
Yeah, well, Oh, I know there was some people in here. We talked to Space for like 2 hours. Mark we never do that. I mean, I was exhausted, but it was a hell of a conversation. So, shout out to Space Cowboy. I'm sure he'll be back on here.
Mark Hudson, what's up? Primetime and game time. Let's go Cowboys. Yes, the season is here. It's right around the corner.
Yes, Mark,
there's things out there up on this in this overlay I have here. I think that was a big one, and I appreciate it a lot, Mark, as he's sending the super chat, which reminded me that, of course, Malik Hooker signs a 3-year extension worth up to $24 million and $8 million, of course, signing bonus. And about 16.5, I think it was, that's guaranteed in the contract. Of course, I could read it if I could look above. Which I was very surprised by this.
Chris,
Let's be real. Like, when this comes out, just like the Diggs one, I'm not saying I don't want it. I want Diggs around. But, of course, we were talking about how Malik was possibly one of those guys that we want to get that $5 million to use. That might be on the chopping block. So, this one coming out of left field for me.
You're right, man. Well, listen, we've been talking about Jordan Lewis just because of the money. Now with Zach Martin, I think that's where we're headed. But this was a surprise to me, like the Diggs thing. Mark Holmes likes to say that I'm too hard on Cowboy, but there's still a lot on our plate. And until I see Zach Martin, and people, let me just reiterate something. Let me say it and reiterate it and book it. If Zach Martin, in order for us to be successful, has to be playing week 1 on this team. Now, I don't care that he's not here now, but it's the principle of the fact, why are you trying to piss off Zach Martin?
Yeah, man, that one
says, what? I'm going to retire. Then you're screwed. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen. It's a far-fetched. Yeah. You need to listen, Catboy and Phil. This is what I told Mark. I said, I'm a mailman, right? And in your job, you do what you do with the, over at the hotel. It's like if I don't deliver the mail, or if I deliver the mail, I don't need, okay, at Christmas time you can give me a thank you, but you don't need to tell me how great of a job I'm doing. Why? Because that's my job. But your job is contracts.
So let me make a comment here, because Brian, let me tell you what Ultra Cowboy said. I believe they re-signed Dorrance Armstrong as well. This is a defensive team now, and you got. Defense wins championships. You see a lot of these guys, these Dan Quinn guys, getting paid. And Dorrance Armstrong is one of those guys that has been sneaky in getting his 5 to 6 sacks in a season, and it's a guy that we've definitely relied on. Didn't he have a return touchdown and a fumble? So he had that with a touchdown. So it's like,
and I'm just gonna throw this out here, Phil. If I'm the offense, right? I'm looking around saying, now, it's been the opposite, right? The offense was making most of the money, right, in the past few years. Not so much last year. Well, probably last year, but it was heavily towards the offense. Now you got Diggs getting his extension, right? You got
Malik,
yep. You got, Malik.
Surprising. I'm very surprised.
Now.
Yep.
You got CD, you got to redo Dak. You got Terrence Steele saying, hey, I thought I was going to be the $50 million guy. So there's a lot to be done. I've always been a horrible window shopper. I don't like going out looking at shit. I want to buy it. I don't like.
Oh, I know.
I don't like this long build up. It's not hard. Pay CD Lamb. It's not hard. I'm sorry. I know you have to pay CD market, but I'm getting ahead of myself.
I'm paying CD and Parsons. Those are my next ones. So
and then obviously you're going to redo Dak so next year's cap kid is going to not be 56 mil or 59 mil, whatever that number is. I know it's high, and use that to throw 30 mil a year at Micah. That's what he's going to get. You can't dodge it, you know. So anyway,
well, speaking of that, when you're talking about CeeDee Lamb, I think we're talking about, of course, him being in that next line of guys, because in that room, I mean, there's some stuff there. We talked about at the beginning of the season that we thought, okay, if it's not Tolbert that steps up, because we thought going into camp he looked good. He's been working with Dak, and he continues to still look really good. The guy, of course, that's been on that fence is Simi Fehoko. He needs to definitely improve, or his ass is on the practice squad. We already see what Turpin's doing with a rested off season instead of having to play the USL and USFL and be the MVP for that league. He had to turn around and go ahead and play a whole other football season, which when we talked about it last week, they talked, Space Cowboys, all of them, they definitely brought up. Now, when we're talking about this, one guy that's really stepped up that they were bringing up, Brooklyn Jost talks about him, says Jalen Brooks looking good, going to lose some ones at 53 cuts, and that's the truth. This is the one where I cannot see them walking. I cannot see them walking away from this guy. I don't care what happens. Barring injuries or any of that stuff. I mean, this guy to me reminds me kind of like a Rod Smith, where you find him late and you don't know what he's going to be, but he hasn't been anything in college. But then all of a sudden, boom, it's just
he's a JUCO guy who transferred. I heard him speak the other day. Very intelligent. Listen, as much as I like Jalen Tolbert, and Jalen Tolbert is balling. Like I said, I didn't expect him to have 5 catches last year, but Jalen Tolbert's balling. Well, Jalen Brooks is killing it too. Simi Fehoko, Phil. I don't think I'm tired of anointing. He needs to either step up in these preseason games, and maybe we could slide Jalen Brooks to the practice squad. He was the other guy I had in mind when you brought up Eric Scott. Eric Scott on the defense, Jalen Brooks, I've been saying for 3 weeks now, just based on what I'm hearing and how he looked at OTAs, just not like Jalen Tolbert. He's confident, and how impressive is that? You played college football, Phil. How impressive for a young kid out of a small school to come in and pick up the Texas Coast offense as fast as he has.
And when you watch him, Dak feels comfortable with him. He's looking for him in certain situations, so there's definitely got to be there. In some way, I'm not saying that his moves are there, but I feel a lot of chemistry there, like Cole Beasley kind of had there, where okay, that dump guy, okay, I need to get this first down. Maybe CD's being doubled. Gallup, I don't know. Sometimes Gallup tends to disappear. But when you watch Gallup now, of course, he looks good, man. He looks, doing the sideline, one-hand catches. It looks really good in camp, and so I'm loving what he's coming out this year looking like. And so I get excited about this wide receiver core, and somebody's going to get pushed out, and so. When you look at that, I can dig it. I can go with CeeDee Lamb number 1. I can go Cook, of course, Gallup, Tolbert, Brooks, and then of course Turpin. Turpin's been a weapon. They've been throwing it to him.
I have it. Yeah, I had a video last week with my particular breakdown, and folks, me and Phil are going to break all this down after that last preseason game. We're going to do our 55 or 53. Before they actually do that final. There's only one cut this year. But receivers-wise, I had obviously CD. Then you got Brandon Cooks. You got Gallup, right? And then you have, let me think here. I have Turpin.
Well,
I have
Turpin
us
could be.
keeping 5 receivers just based on how many other things. I have us keeping 5, and Turpin would be a special team, so he'll be our 6th.
Okay.
But that wasn't it.
You did that whole CJ Goodwin. He's a corner, but technically he's our special teamer. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but that's how you have to do it, you know. And I think I had Simi out, but if you can slide Simi on and keep Jalen Brooks, but you know, in order for me to do that, roll the dice with Jalen Brooks, which you might be able to do. I don't think you're going to be able to get him to the practice squad. But then again,
no, I would not put him. He's too out there right now.
I know that, and that's what I'm saying. You know, I'm worried, but I think our backup offensive linemen our young guys aren't going to do good. So I don't know what kind of preseason we're going to do.
Yeah.
That's what the only thing we may look. Because I'm hearing that Josh Ball's not looking good. The two young guys are really raw. Maybe you could slide them on a practice squad and free up a roster spot.
I think you just get rid of Josh Ball and kind of just go from there.
That's what I've been
I think
crying for, but
yeah. There's gonna be some guys. There are gonna be some guys that are dropping. It's gonna definitely be in the offensive line. You're gonna have to pull some people in. Now I'm gonna go up on this because this is perfect segue into it. As we're talking about offensive line, you know, you're looking at Tyron Smith. You're seeing him and struggling against Parsons, but that's where I'm all like, it's Parsons, man. Anybody's gonna struggle against Parsons. So the holding and all that kind of stuff doesn't concern me as much. Now you don't want to practice holding. That's the only problem is this. That was a good hold, Tyron. I almost didn't flag you there. But when you look at the whole thing, I look at this team, and I love that you're seeing the offense score touchdowns. You're seeing them move the ball, good touchdown passes. Oh, one-handed catch from CeeDee Lamb. Brandon Cooks over the shoulder. Oh, look at Simi even getting involved with. I think Simi might be that whole backup person with Cooper Rush there as well too. But so I'm seeing all this, but I'm also seeing, okay, all of a sudden pick off from Scott, and now I'm seeing an interception from Diggs, and now I'm seeing an interception from Gilmore, and then and then people want to jump on it. Oh, Dak is of course throwing interceptions, and I'm seeing an offense and a defense both make plays, and I think with them being both, I think Dak has obviously said it. Iron sharpening iron. I mean, they're balling. I mean, how many times are they going to be able to go? How many times is Dak going to go against the skill set of a Gilmore, Diggs, and Bland?
Right.
And then you're throwing those other guys.
Yeah. Well, shout out to you, Phil, because you're the one that reminded me, because I was pretty hard on Turpin at the end of last year. I was high on him, but I was tired of hearing
Turp time,
and then he. Like he cupped. I mean, he kept like tripping over himself. It just didn't end up the way I thought. I thought he would have at least two. Going.
I thought he was gonna have like three special teams.
You pointed out that he had a USFL training camp, a whole season of USFL, came right to the Cowboy training camp, and then had a whole Cowboy season. Of course, my man's going to be run down. We kept calling for it, right? We kept calling for a 9 route. You get him in the offense. I think he had maybe a handful of plays all year. Mm-hmm. You called it,
and they weren't really plays. They were like Kellen Moore plays, Like
he looks like a different player.
He does. He does. Yeah. He's balling. He's that whole now when he would talk on the sideline and he was all like, like you could just hear him yapping and stuff, and I'm like, man, that guy's got a lot of energy, and so. Now it all makes sense. Like the personality with how he's balling, like it makes sense because they're involving him, and I mean he's got a lot of energy. Really good weapon. Kind of reminds me of that whole Pac-Man Jones kind of thing where he just has that small, looks like a big huge helmet on him, but man, that guy can move. And I'm interested to see what they use him on the offense. But I love the slants that you're seeing. Schottenheimer getting other people involved. But of course, we switch it back over. We're talking about both offense and the defense making plays. I want to jump on this subject a little bit as we're talking about offense, defense, and we'll go a little bit with that little category. But one of the things that we're going to start off with is, of course, the quarterback. The quarterback is your guy, man. He's the one that lead here. And of course, you hear the offense. People that hate the Cowboys, they jump on it. Dak is bad. And you got the other side is, Dak is good, but the Cowboys suck. And then you have people that are actually fans and as well that, the Cowboys, Dak, awesome. And you got the Cowboy fans that are not about Dak as well, too. So when they see the interceptions, they don't see the defense making a play. They see Dak throwing an interception. He's getting crap for all that. But when when you hear it from, and I got to poke this one. And normally you're this guy that brings it up, but the Eagle fans, of course, a lot of the content creators jumping on the Cowboy stuff because there's not a lot at all coming out of Eagles camp. And so we're supposed to take the word that he's been perfect or he's been this and he's been that. And just take my word, just like I don't fall unless I see in video of it all where he's perfect. Like, I'm not
trolling at its best, man.
Yeah.
It's just trolling.
So I mean, when you look at that
video,
I saw yours. Oh yeah, trust me, I was
Jalen Hurts was ass. I got that
ass.
from Kelly K9, Kelly Machine Gun K9. I call him because I didn't see it. We were busy, but I did see his tweet, and then we did a little research. It was in multiple articles in the Philadelphia area. Now, people. A lot of Eagle fans are saying I wasn't. All I'm saying is, and I don't care that he throws interceptions, and
that's going to happen. It's like it doesn't.
That's where you're supposed to
take your chances. You do,
yeah.
See, you need to find out what those receivers are capable of.
But I just gave him one back.
You had to. You had to. Yeah.
I'm looking at the video now. On my page, it's for me, it's got a nice amount of views. So, I don't really care. It's got close to 600 views. So. There you go. I don't like to do that too often, but there you go. But it was an article, Phil. It wasn't like I was making something up.
Yeah, but there's a lot of
a local newspaper on Bleacher Report. It is what it is.
There's just a lot of video that come out of Cowboys camp. So I mean, you're giving the rest of the NFL a lot out there to show. It doesn't concern me as much because this is just weapons. You know that you're going to stop a Brandon Cooks. You know his route tree. I mean, he's not being surprised. CeeDee Lamb, you know what he does. You know what Prescott does. So it's like your offensive coordinator is going to use them differently. You can kind of see them. Yeah, I love when Schottenheimer they talk to him. It's just a different conversations. It actually sounds like offensive football. It's not just
Definitely.
It's we're going to run the plays and we're going to do I want to hear it, man. It's just like, yeah, man, Dak needs to do this. Dak's been great, stuff like that. Give it to me, man. Lay it out there. I want to see what happens when it doesn't go your way as well too. So I mean, I don't mind the what we need to work on. It's different if somebody does it one time and then you're just like, okay, well, he needs to work on that. But if he's doing it 3-4 weeks in a row, is he a guy like, Ryan, what was this guy, Rex Ryan, that is willing to, he was willing to really call out somebody out there in the media. And so I kind of want that. I want that from the offensive side. I want them to be, you have all these weapons. If somebody's not making a play, if somebody's not coming through, they need to be called out. I mean, there's too many guys to get the ball to be worrying about one guy that is not, I got fumbled hands or whatever, So
I'm going to get this Ultra Cowboy stuff. If I was Steven, I'd call Falcons and offer a first for Kyle Pitts. Just getting to Ultra, he brought up Schoonmaker. Schoonmaker is going to start the year up in my opinion. He had a setback with his plantar fasciitis. He is going to start out the year on,
and I'm okay with that.
IR.
I'm okay with that because
that's fine. Because what he's going to bring immediately, Phil, is red zone blocking, red zone threat, and catching the ball. He's, I don't know how much he's going to get elsewhere. You know
what I'm excited about when I see that whole thing? Okay, it sucks, But we got, as Cowboy fans right now, you're going to have injuries, but you got to look to the bright side. You got to look to the next step. And so what is the next thing? Yeah, Schoonmaker, we didn't want him as a second-round draft pick, but he's going to be here. He's going to be a hell of a weapon when he's healthy. But what can we look for? Okay, McKeon. Man, he is balling right now. And so,
I like McKeon.
Yeah, and for the first time, he might have a chance of making this roster and really kind of doing something. I mean, you're hearing Hendershot's doing some well. Ferguson, of course, is looking bigger. So, I mean, to see those guys there, I am okay with putting Schoonmaker to the side and kind of waiting for later.
Shot, I know you're not as big, but he's.
I'm hearing he's doing better this year. I want to see in the middle of the game, if he's not doing the penalty stuff, I'm okay with it. But that's why I'm okay with this whole thing. It sucks.
Hope you're right, Ultra Cowboy.
What's the Ultra said?
No, go ahead. I'm not trying to cut you off.
No. I'm
trying to get to it without staying on it. He said they think he might practice Monday. I heard he had a setback the other day, but I've been away, so hopefully you're right.
None of our tight ends have talent than Schoonmaker has, and that's the truth. I mean, that's why I don't mind putting him to the side and kind of saving him for later on. You know, I want him to be ready because he is going to be open. He's going to be able to block on this offensive line. He's a big body. He'll be able to get into position. I didn't see anything in college that made me think that he was not going to be able to put himself his body between the tackler and the ball carrier. And so when I see that, I also see the weapon that he's going to be downfield. It reminds me of Ferguson a whole lot. But you know, and of course, I'm a huge Ferguson fan. We all know that. But I see the potential here in 2 or 3 years of Schoonmaker definitely being him. You know, being that guy, being that tight end. And I love. You know what I love about Schoonmaker? That even more is that he took Schultz's numbers. You know, he took, because it's his number. He had that in college. He had 86, and he took it right over there. He's like, you ain't coming back here, man. Just get on.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. Lord Nova. Yeah. Ferguson. You know,
Ferguson was awesome talent. He can do it. Yeah.
Yeah. He has good pedigree with Bobby Alvarez. So, you know, I expect it. Ultra says
so. Yeah.
Michael Gelkin, Cowboys rookie Luke Schoonmaker could make his training camp debut.
I just don't want them to rush him, but I'm okay with that, man. I love the potential to this tight end room. I mean, I'm not anybody that's going out there. If you put a 3 tight end set out there, oh man, that is scary. You know, like you got the running backs that can do it. You got Tony Pollard. You got Malik Davis. I do feel good about that. You know, of course, Deuce Vaughn's looking amazing, and with that big line, he's going to get lost in there. And then
Cowboy, they said that about Jason Witten too. But I'm looking forward to Schoonmaker getting in here.
So Lord Nova 85 says I like Henny and Hendershot, of course, and Ferguson combo. Yeah. And that was amazing. To see him as rookies, I think their game elevated Schultz's game. I mean, Schultz was doing okay. I mean, we all know that he was a security blanket. Tight end should be that guy. It should be your tight end. It should be your slot receiver. That should be that guy that makes you feel comfortable. So when you look at this team, you know, who's your slot receiver? You know, Michael Gallup, Tolbert. I feel really good about those guys going out there. Maybe even a Turpin. And Turpin, put him in the slot. That is going to be ridiculous with that speed. So that's why any of these guys moving around, we all saw what happened with CeeDee Lamb got into the slot in that motion. I mean, he was ridiculous out of it. And you're not going to see every receiver, okay, well, they're just going to be, you know, Brooks is just going to be to the right and Lamb is just going to. This ain't Madden. You know, they're going to switch them around, man. It's going to be all over the place. And I do like that you do have a lot of weapons. And my big concern last year, and I brought it up many times, is, of course, what happened when Tony Pollard went out. You know, we couldn't get the offense going anymore because we didn't have a running back that could do that same stuff. And now you have a Deuce Vaughn that can step in and definitely do the same things. And I'm not saying he's Pollard and he's going to be that guy, but he is definitely
good, man.
A great substitute.
I'm not going to lie to you. I was like third down back. He's getting a lot of work at goal line, man. You know, and we'll get into the position groups and how many. I think you keep 3 running backs and a fullback. You know, so something's got to shake out. You know, there might be a mysterious injury with one of them, meaning Malik Davis or Ronald Jones. Well, the good thing about it is it's not good, but Ronald Jones is starting.
Thank you, Captain Tucky.
On the first 2 weeks on the suspended list, so
and what sucks about that is that, you know, it's all medication that he's trying to come back from injury. He's coming back from heart medication, and then this happens.
I mean,
yeah, we never know. You never know.
But I agree. I mean, you know, there needs to be something done. Now, like I said, in this particular case, I think it's not the worst thing that he starts the first 2 years because, you know, unless we have a rash of injuries, I don't like talking about that.
No.
You know, I don't think it's the worst thing. You know, because I want to see Pollard. I want to see Malik Davis get an actual shot. We
if we're up,
about Rico Dowdle.
Yeah, if we're up and we're talking about this running game, I want to see combinations of different running backs. I mean, that's going to throw the defense off, you know.
You brought up a good point about that. And if you want to get to any chat,
go ahead.
Cut me off.
No, you're good.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Brian Schottenheimer, you know, I walked in on Mark Holmes doing a video, and all I heard was, man,
I didn't know what you were going to say there at the end. I didn't know what you were going to say at the end of that sentence.
What the heck is going on here? But he was talking about Brian Schottenheimer. And Brian Schottenheimer even said that he's always had a stable of running backs. So
This is
I
true.
like that.
It's the truth.
That's what we need.
Yeah.
As much as I love Zeke and I love Emmett, there you go, baby. Emmett, Tony D, Herschel Walker. As much as I like that, this is the new era, man. We need multiple guys coming in. Deuce Vaughn is looking untackable in the open field. Not that he's a blazer, but you can't find him. And by the time you see him, he gone.
Yep.
So I like it.
Yeah, and so when you look at, obviously to me, a big question mark, and we're going to keep saying it, going to repeat it until it's actually solidified. I like the starters. Zach Martin, of course, not being there, that's a big concern for me, but I'm not concerned until the season starts and he's not there.
I agree.
Even with that, I mean, I feel good. I mean, the way that this offense works and how it's going to be in the sense of the 3-step drops, the slants, all this kind of stuff, it doesn't concern me as much. It's not going to be as much wear and tear for these offensive guys to have. So if you can put somebody in there, you're just not. I just don't want it to be a guy like Josh Ball, because I'd rather. It just kind of sucks because right now Isaac Alarcon would have been perfect opportunity to kind of at least get something because you have your question marks on these sides, and now he's playing defense, and it's just like, that's not a great
our
move.
exemption is gone for. Our exemption is done. So,
So he has to either make the roster on a deep defensive line roster when the offensive line finally is the question mark, and now it's just not great timing. I feel bad for him in that sense.
I could be wrong. But
no, he's going to be on Washington next year or this year.
You know what's going to happen? It's a perfect spot for him. Think about it. He was doing it last year. Nobody's going to pick him up.
Kicker? Hell yeah, man. Put him at kicker. Okay.
Yeah. What's going to happen is he's going to be on the practice squad. He's the perfect player when you're doing your game plan.
Ultra. Yeah.
To simulate if they need an offensive lineman.
Kind of like the practice squad.
He could do it all.
Yeah.
He's going to have a career as that. Now, not saying he'll never get called up. Not saying he's thrilled about it, but let's not lose any sleep. Minimum salary for a guy like that. Well, I don't know what the practice squad minimum salary is. That I don't know. He'll lose eligibility eventually. Yeah. So I'll have to look into that. But I believe he's eligible for the practice squad yet again. So I expect him to be back this year. But we'll see. We'll see what the roster is. We can't hold spots anymore.
It just sucks because anybody that you put in there, I mean, we got some guys. I mean, even when we put them in there, there's going to be somebody that's going to be taken. This is a deep roster, and you got to give them credit in the sense of the drafting. It's the drafting when you can get guys in on like the cheaper contracts, especially when you're talking about Bland and Eric Scott possibly being starters at some point. Whether somebody's resting or you're getting towards the end of the season, you're just kind of seeing where people are at. Those guys, think about how much they're eating up on the salary cap. It's not a whole heck of a lot. If you can get some value out of that, oh my God, I think that's where you get your Super Bowl type of runs. If you can get a whole roster like that, and that's one thing I got to give this team credit for. Of course, that scouting department has done an amazing job.
Billy McClay.
That even the undrafted free agents that you do bring in, they always have that potential to really kind of. How many in the past 20 years have they just undrafted guys that have become stars and gotten big contracts and I mean, even guys that you may have not thought of. I mean, Miles Austin, for example, where the hamstring issues that he was constantly having, but I mean, he was out of nowhere. So it's just amazing what this scouting department has been able to do. And I think what's even better is that they don't just stop with the draft. They're evaluating the rest of the league. They're seeing hey, what's Gilmore? The fact that they got Gilmore for the price tag that they got, the fact that Brandon Cooks came at the price tag, I gotta give them credit on that. I mean, those are big pieces, and you can see them in the training camp videos teaching other guys. Even the receivers. You hear Gilmore, he's also teaching the receivers. Okay, when I was watching you were kind of giving it away by doing this. That's big. I mean, and you can't. I mean,
it is.
To put a value of a 5th or 6th round draft pick on those type of things, I mean, that's crazy, man, because it's not only the value of the position, okay, now we got a number 2 on both sides, but you're teaching all your young guys, man. You got a lot of young guys in here. So, sorry, I was a little rambling there.
No, you're good. Ultra Cowboy says, I am not worried in the Cowboys finding a replacement for Zach, but it has to be in the first round.
I agree. I agree. Because I heard that as well too. What about the worst case scenario? What happens if do you trade him away if it comes to that?
No. He's going to retire a Cowboy. It's just I'm not worried about. Like I told you, I'm going to reiterate. I don't care that he's not here now, but he needs to be signed in the next couple of weeks. The guy's already lost. I don't know. I didn't add it up, like over $400,000 already. Now he's going to get that back, but once game checks start happening, he ain't losing a game check. I don't think he's going to be out. I thought he'd be in here early this week, and it didn't happen.
No.
And Jerry Jones comes out, and they're like putting their foot down.
Yeah, it's amazing. I'm pretty surprised by that one.
Just keep your mouth shut.
It's a different year. It's a different year this year. So I got to give them. I got to see what happens here. They're doing things a whole lot different. Eric Weirs says Tyler Smith and Tyron Smith need to stay healthy this year. And man, if they stay healthy, wow, the sky's the limits. You got a center that needs to prove it. Tyler Biadasz, what's he going to do in his second year in that position? You didn't hear. We were very concerned about going into this position last year. But we hardly heard his name. I mean, he ended up becoming a Pro Bowler.
Exactly.
And so, I mean, of course, that was, people not going. He eventually gets invited. But still, I mean, it's on his resume.
You're a Pro Bowler. That's the bottom line.
Zach Martin, we don't know what we don't know what's going to happen there. We're hoping that's something that, he's more of a professional. He doesn't want to lose those game checks. And kind of comes in. Steele, I think we see the potential there of him coming back from an injury. And so, yeah, I mean, I get excited about guys like Velasco and Lindstrom.
I'm worried. That's where
Ignoba.
Exactly. You just named it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Velasco needs to be that guy that can come in when Tyron Smith gets hurt. And I'm not trying to be Mr. Negative. He just gets hurt every year. I hope this is the year that he doesn't. If we do, then that's great. But we're going to need an option. Everybody's going to say, well, slide Tyler out. Okay, then that opens up the left guard spot. So right now, okay. Old Jay Smooth, what's up? Game Time, a.k.a. the Mailman. Zach Martin has lost $550,000. Yeesh. It's got to come to an end soon. But I'm worried about, let's go, making sure he's ready to roll so we have that swing tackle. Mm-hmm. Rather than moving everybody around.
Yeah. Yep.
That's what I want. Whether that happens.
I like that. Velasco needs to be Looney. Yeah, I love
Looney.
Yes, I agree. I love watching Looney. When he came out with Zeke.
Good thing about Looney, though, he could play center. I'm a little worried about our backup center, because they love Farniok, and Farniok is very good. I'm not going to lie to you. He's a very good flex guy, and he's supposedly going to be the backup center. But in practice the other day, he had 2 fumbled snaps in one period. Now, that can work its way out. We do have a couple of young guys. Hopefully, we can get Lindstrom to the practice squad. But, we need Velasco and Farniok to be on their game. If they are, then we are solid, assuming Zach Martin's in. Terrence Steele looking really good. What I've learned about, and it's normally the case, our top guys, Phil, haven't really been in there like that much. And they're being smart with it. But our rookies and our young guys are doing really, really good in run blocking.
Well, and I got to give them credit because, I mean, you're going against guys like Mozzie Smith and Hankins that are having really good camps.
Really good run blocking.
Yeah, and so the fact that you're doing against these big guys, that's really going to help you. And that's what I want to see. I want to see the offense opening up some holes. I mean, that was a little bit of a concern. Obviously they do better when they're hitting somebody compared to being hit in the pass protection. But I wanted to see some holes open up, and I want to see them without Zach Martin because obviously Zach Martin is that guy for us. I mean, in not having him there, that does concern me. Now, is he one of those guys that I feel that can come in and just do his thing as soon as he gets in? Yeah, I feel that as well.
Auto, what up, homie?
But at some point, it kind of wears down. I mean, Tyron Smith. How many times was Tyron Smith coming in, doing his thing? Now, the past 2 years, you've seen him come in and kind of struggle a little bit. So. You're hoping Zach doesn't have that same drop off, but you see his videos. I mean, he's training and he still looks great. He looks in like amazing shape. So he even has a tan going.
Yeah, he's a beast.
And you're right, Cowboys Mafia. Iron sharpens iron, and that's the truth, man. This team has got some.
Leave it to Mark. He goes, well, actually, iron would because we had this conversation on the way to the Hall of Fame. He's like, well, iron would actually damage the blade of another piece of iron. It actually has to be a what did he say? Some kind of shaved
Telling me
rock
I love weed.
or something. Wedge rock or something. So I'm like, all right, whatever. It's just
It needs to be limestone or what is it? Like, I don't know.
It's just a figure of speech, man. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love weed. There he is. His lady
Yes.
friend. My
His
bad.
lady friend.
My
Don't be
bad.
getting him in trouble, man. You know.
Yeah, come on, man.
What's wrong with you, man? It's like-
Taco.
Yeah, it can't be another taco situation. And that's the problem, is that you see that helmet and
Well,
just kind of like, ugh,
There's an
it
inside
automatically
story
jumps.
here. We were talking to I Love Weed. He didn't like the Mozzie pick because he's not a Michigan guy. So,
I like the Mozzie's pick.
Now he's hoping he's good, but
Dude, when you see, here's
he
the
gonna be
thing, it's
on
like,
V8.
when you see these guys like hit, like in the beginning, you're not hitting each other because the pads weren't on, but you're seeing them hit these pad things, they're pushing it up and everything, and man, when you see him hit, he is knocking that thing up, and it is just with power. Like, you're just like, man, these offensive linemen are going to have some trouble. And so when they had that videotape of him getting knocked back, it was like, well, because 3 people just hit him. You know, you got the center hit him.
exactly.
You know, you got the left guard hit him, and then the tight end even got a little bit of it. And so I think that was funny that they're quick to jump on those type of the things, but then don't point out the whole thing. And so. I see Mozzie, he's still a rookie. He can do amazing all year, but if he all of a sudden does something like, how many times did you see rookies do some crazy mistake? I always think of a rookie. The first person I always think of is Plexico Burress. And when he came in from college, he catches his first down pass against the Jacksonville Jaguars and just jumps up and just spikes the ball, and the Jacksonville grabs it and starts running the other way, just because you're not used to the rules, So I want to see that transition. I'm sorry, I kind of went off on the whole thing,
we're
but
listening.
with Mozzie,
Locked in here.
But no, with Mozzie, I mean, you expect him to have some kind of moments, but I'm interested to see once the cadence goes. Is he a guy that stays on sides? Can we rely on him to stay healthy through the season? So there's going to be a lot of questions that can't be answered right now. And the wear and tear of a long NFL season, it's not like college. 11, 12 games, boom, you're good. This one goes off until 17 games, and then you got playoffs, and that's when the real shit happens. Kind of like Arnold Schwarzenegger, where he's like, soon as you are tired, that's when the real workout begins.
Man.
Like,
Get down.
get to the chopper.
Yeah, that's not bad, man. You need to get a drop for some Arnold. I have a couple, but you guys can't hear it through mine. Yeah.
But that's how it is, man. That's when the real workouts begin, and I think that's the truth with this team. We love this team. We know how far they can get, but we don't really care about regular season shit. We want to get into the playoffs where it's really going to matter.
If Mozzie can get there, Glimmerman says if Mozzie can get
it during the actual game,
then the line
oh
is
man,
incredible.
It is.
I see Mozzie getting it during an actual game. Here's the deal with Mozzie Smith. There is no doubt in my mind, none. 0, that Mozzie is going to be able to stop the run. And if he can stop the run, that's what he was brought here to do. Mm-hmm. If he can add and get penetration and actually go after the quarterback, that's bonus, just gravy. That's just gravy. Between him, Hankins, and Osa, that's going to be a beautiful thing to watch. Gallimore, we will see. That's one of the big... I think they're going to go 11 deep on the defensive line. That's line and DN. So we'll get into all that. But, I believe that Bohanna and Gallimore, something's got to shake out there. Both of them are not on this team. So maybe there's a trade.
So
maybe
here we go. You ready to poke some bears here? Geo Auto asks, excited to see Scooney get some reps in preseason. Can he be better than Dallas Goedert? They're not going to like my answer. They're not going to like my. I think so. Yeah. He has the total package. I think he can. I think he can be better.
Top 3, man.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, I see the potential that he has. That doesn't mean he's going to get there. He could have this injury thing that just follows him. And he's never on the field.
I'm hoping for it.
I mean, think about Sean Lee. I mean, remember how much I love Sean Lee. Sean was a baller when he was in there. The defense was different, but I mean, is Sean Lee a Hall of Famer? Is he's So that's what I'm saying.
If you look at Schoonmaker's resume, Phil, he hasn't played many college games, so that's a big stretch. I would say, let's just hope that he is better than average this year, and he's a red zone threat. We already know he's another guy who's a hell of a blocker. Me personally, I would calm that narrative down. Dallas Goedert.
Yeah, I mean Goddard is definitely top 5 for me because he's
top.
I mean, how many? I don't know about that, but I definitely put him up there. I mean, compared to what our tight ends, no, he's definitely better than our tight ends. But our tight ends are very young, so I mean, I definitely have the potential, but that doesn't mean anything right now. So I mean, I am interested to see where these guys.
Ultra. I do, man.
What's
he's
that?
Big Schoonmaker guy. He's got a Kittle ceiling. He's
Yeah.
raw. He's young. He can block. That's great. He's a red zone threat. He's a big boy. He can move. That's awesome. Got to do it in the NFL. That's all. I'm just saying, don't put that on him.
Yeah, I know, no, and that's not how know. But it was just interesting whole thing. I mean, again, it's going to take a lot of body of work. I think it's going to take consistency and definitely being available. I think that's going to be the.
Witten came out. They weren't high on him at all. So to Ultra's point,
Witten, even when you were watching him, you're like, man, that guy is so. But he was open.
Yeah,
I don't know how.
Calvin Joseph making it either, Jay Smooth. Not at all. He shouldn't be on the team at this point. But oh my.
What's that, Calvin? Oh yeah, Calvin Joseph. Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I mean, I would be surprised if he doesn't, but
I'm not hating, but
I mean, I think there's a lot more corners that are more worthy, and I don't think putting the second round draft pick. He was a second round. I think that only gets you so far. I think that guarantees you your first year, maybe your second, but that's about as far as it goes. Once it goes past that second year, there is no guarantee after second round draft pick. So I mean, he's got to step up his game, and you do hear some flashes of goods. You hear some good things, but then you see tape and you're seeing him trail, and you're like, well, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt because it's CeeDee Lamb. It's these guys that are working amazing. But you're still getting burnt, man. You're still getting burnt, and it doesn't look amazing. So,
yeah, I know, man. I know. So what we got?
I love we said slow and only got open wit, and that was the truth, man. I was like, I think that was so funny. I would watch him
for speed.
I would watch him, and he'd just go out there, and I'm like, I don't know how he does that fake, because even if he fakes you, you should see him go in the other direction. It was just funny, man. It's just funny because it's just like the tight end position. I mean, how many times did Dak throw it to? How many times did Dak throw it to Schultz when he was not open and between two coverages, because that's your guy. So he just needed to get a little bit of space, and so Tony kind of got it there. They're best friends. Remember when T.O. was whining about their relationship? Oh, he's not throwing it to me. So yeah.
Well,
right. Oh, really? I didn't know that. I didn't. Ultra Cowboy says Witten ran a 4.65. That's actually faster than I thought. I was thinking it was in the fives.
But he wasn't. We didn't draft him until what? What was it, round 3 or 4? I think it was 3.
3. Yeah.
But I saw your Micah Parsons graphic, and I want to touch on him.
That guy's ridiculous.
Micah Parsons, he comes out and says, he just doesn't want to be a Hall
stop
of
lying.
Famer. Yeah, well, that's supposed to be on the down low. Come on, man, keep it low.
Yeah. I'm doing a podcast. I can't let CBS know this shit.
Yeah.
Double dipping.
Micah Parsons comes out and says he
don't want to
be a Hall of Famer. He wants
quarterback.
to be one of the great Hall of Famers.
Okay. It's one of those things where they go, baby, do I look pretty? And you're like, no, you look gorgeous, or something like that. And you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
so
see.
he's already going there, which is, listen, man.
I like to hear it. I like it.
I like it. I don't want to hear nothing about
You see him in camp. It is ridiculous what he's doing.
It is ridiculous.
It is. I'm like, man, that guy is going to feast this year.
I'm hearing about how Lane Johnson's going to stuff him. Lane Johnson already came out and said he's one of the hardest guys in the league to block. And that was before he went out and talked to Andrew Whitworth, Hall of Fame, a tackle for the Rams and multiple teams. Did a lot of work. He's taken it to a different level. Not only is he learning his craft, by his defense.
He's learning other people's crafts too, and that's
he's
why.
He's learning the offensive line's craft. And what is offensive line's kryptonite? What don't offensive linemen like? And it all has to do with your hands. You got to be the first person to get your hands on the other guy. Because once you do, just like when Tyron gets his hands on you, it doesn't matter who you are, he's moving you. A lot of what Micah has learned, it has to do with his hands.
Well, there's some
Obviously,
things. I mean, like
fast,
when I see stuff, like when I saw Ware, of course, congratulations to Chuck and DeMarcus Ware for making into the Hall of Fame. It's great to see that. But when I saw even Ware with some of his moves, where he would do he would go forward, do a fake turn, and then keep going. Like, so they would think that he's going to turn because he's been getting spun, and so they go to step, and he's already done that fake half turn, and then goes back to rushing forward. And I'm thinking, Ware has had his moments where he has been teaching Parsons, and of course Parsons talking to Andrew Whitworth. Was that?
Yes.
And
Andrew Whitworth.
And so I mean, working with him, and so you're seeing LT. He does the whole comparison thing. The guy is ridiculous, and I think he hits it right here on the head. There's a lot of things. I'm not going to. Parsons is his own guy, so when they say, "Oh, he's the next LT," okay, you got to take it back a little bit. He's not that crazy. Right. But he can revolutionize a game. You have to account for this guy and where he's at all times. He can all of a sudden just destroy stuff, and so that's what I love about him. But I love the leadership. It reminds me a lot of Ray Lewis. Because you just want to follow this guy. You want to go and hit somebody with this guy, and the energy that he brings, the camaraderie that he brings, even talking offensively, defensively. Right. we talk about the leaders that need to happen. Hold on, let's see, bring it over here. So we're talking about the leaders that need to happen. There's leaders across this team. Parsons, to me, yes. I mean, Jones is right. Jerry Jones, when he's talking about solidifying what this future is, there's guys in this future. Of course, Diggs, Lamb, Parsons. There's guys that are the future of this team. And for me, Parsons definitely got to be up on the top there, especially when you call defense with your offense. It's just all around. Lamb definitely elevated last year. All of a sudden came out of nowhere. I don't want to say nowhere because we saw the growth, but it did seem like there was a switch all of a sudden that got turned on, and he just was not the same guy ever since. And so I love his swagger. So how do you feel about the leadership across this team? And do you think there's enough veterans in this team to be...
Absolutely. With the addition of Stephon Gilmore, we already have D-Law. Those leaders on defense is incredible. Let's not forget Leighton Vander Esch has been here now for a while. You got Jonathan Hankins mentoring Mozzie. Just up and down our defense is big time. Dak is the ultimate team leader. This whole... BS with him and Diggs. If anybody knows the situation, Dak and Diggs have been going at it.
They probably talk ever since like cereal. You'd be like, "Man, your cereal is
Dak
shitty."
Picked on everybody this week. That's what he does. He keeps everybody loose.
You need to pick on those kickers. That's what he needs to do.
Yeah. Well, our kicker's not on the team, but we'll touch on that.
That's gold.
But yeah, Dak is the ultimate leader. CD. You saw from last year in the Giant game where he dropped that ball. He was a different receiver, elevated to the number one. Now he's literally top 5 in the league.
Yeah, I
maybe
agree.
Even better.
I agree.
I'm sorry to say. I almost want to touch on Elena Walker. He gave Micah his due, and that was regarding Lane Johnson. That doesn't mean he's not ready for him. Yeah, I'm not saying he's not ready for him.
That's true.
Johnson,
oh yeah, you can respect it. Yeah,
I'm just saying when. Some Eagle fans, Elena, say that you guys own Micah. Your own player is telling you if he has to block him one-on-one without a chip or anything, it's going to be a long day.
All those times you saw there was triple.
That's all.
There was triple teams, double teams a lot of the time. So
yeah.
Eric gives us one. I appreciate it, Eric. Thank you for the super chat. It says, "Is Simi Fehoko on the bubble and making this team?" Bryan, I'm gonna let you start it off before I start cussing and just kind of like going this way.
Right. He's on the outside. He's not even in right now.
Like, so go ahead. No, go ahead. Tell me about Simi.
No, I'm sorry.
No, I was just going on like I'll go on a rant.
I heard it. A little delay, but yeah. I would say he needs to make a lot of plays in preseason. the free passes are done, and there's nothing against him. There is nothing against him, but we got young guys that are looking really, really good. So I don't see how we can keep any spots. So, and he'll get picked right up, and he may go on to do something. But if he's
New
going to
York
make
Giants.
this team,
He'll be a New
he
York
needs to
Giant.
do it now. Or he'll. I know
Denver
Sam Bronco.
Bronco.
Really wanted him.
I could see him in a
mean,
Bronco uniform. So,
prayers out for Law Nation. He's lost his uncle, and I heard he
dude.
lost his mother.
He's had some bad luck. That poor guy.
That's two guys. I believe. I thought I saw that today on Mark's video. I thought he lost his uncle, and now he just lost his mother.
No,
So,
hearts go out to him.
Shout
man.
out to
That
the
sucks.
GOAT.
Yeah.
Law Nation is the GOAT.
Yeah.
He's the first
beard.
YouTuber, a cowboy YouTuber to ever crack the 100,000 subscriber mark.
Dude, that guy is like CNN for the Cowboys network. That like he is
he's got
on.
that velvety voice.
Yeah.
He's just a good
Well, we're
guy.
gonna
That's the thing.
Turn down the
I'm not going
lights
to name
and
names, but
talk Cowboys.
yeah.
Nothing but
Welcome
the hits.
to. Yeah.
He reminds you of the
almost like
Ladies'
Don
Man.
Cornelius.
Remember Ladies' Man?
Oh yeah. Ladies
What is
Man.
love? Is love not like unlike the liking to? It's like just like wait, what?
I could see by the empty glass of a Cavassi.
Yeah, exactly. You got that
That the
smooth.
show is over.
He's like, I want to talk
Yeah.
Cowboys. So
Like Don Cornelius or
man,
who
poor
am
guy.
I
So,
thinking of? I'm thinking
I
of
our hearts go out to him
my
though, man.
everything. Who is that?
Um,
My love. Anyway, it's,
oh, you're good. You're
Come
good.
on,
It's right there on the tip of my tongue.
come on, man. Who is it? Come on, help me out. Come on, who am I thinking of? My first,
Oh
my
my god.
last,
My
my everything.
Oh my god.
It's always
Luther Vandross.
It's always
No,
playing.
no.
It was come on, man.
I
have it in
like
my phone.
slipping,
Now
Yeah, you gotta
we'll
get the
talk.
chat.
I'll look it up because I count on Phil. He pulled his shit out.
Yeah, man, he put
And-
out some music stuff. I wasn't expecting. I'm like Cowboys. I'm like, oh, who did he sing a Cowboys theme? Is that what it was? Like Jimmy Buffett over here in Miami. Like that's why Jimmy. Like when you go to a
Barry White.
Miami's
There
game,
he
they're
is,
Barry White.
Barry.
Sorry. Oh
Okay.
my God. Like, yeah, that's.
Velvet voice, Barry White.
You know how it's so like, hey, how do you
My
spell the
love.
word the? You know, you're like brain fart. Yeah, it was just not good. Not good. That's definitely a replay
world.
mode.
What the- Sorry.
Tom can't
Barry
remember
White,
his.
baby.
Oh,
Anyway, I lost what I was even friggin' saying.
Yeah, I know,
You guys
We
get
were-
the point. You guys get the point.
But no, I mean we got leaders all across this board, and we're talking about Simi Fehoko making this team. And to me, yeah, I mean that he's right. If I had to say right now, you're cutting the people. He's not on this team. He's on the practice squad.
Well,
you're putting him out there. He might be on another team, and he
he's
would
gonna be gone if you
He
put
would.
him out there. But
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
I'd rather roll the dice.
Dude,
with him.
I would. Yeah, and,
You
I
know?
mean, yeah, I definitely
I'd
agree.
rather-
I like
if we
Jalen
lose
Brooks.
him, fine, but if I lost Jalen Brooks, I would be.
I don't want to
like-
lose Turpin. I don't want to lose
Right, well,
Tolbert.
Turpin's
There's
not- yeah, exactly.
So I mean, to me,
That's
that's
why
the
I
guy
said-
that's out there. Yeah, I would
It's
agree.
going to make sense if we make trades this year, but then again, it seems like you now and Mark Holmes are really like Catboy and think he's doing a hell of a job. I think he's doing his job. He needs to do more.
I think he's
So-
doing better. I think he's doing better.
He's gotten a
they're
little better.
opposite.
I was shocked with the Diggs deal.
Everything is opposite than what I've been not wanting, but thinking that was going to
Eagles
happen.
2024 champs. You're right, man. We're 2-4 in playoffs. It's true. I can't argue that.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway,
And then, are you counting Jason Garrett stuff though? At that same time,
listen, man. This
like
bottom
I
line
mean,
is,
because
you
Jason
know,
Garrett ain't the coach anymore.
Dak's
I mean,
2-4.
But no, I totally
Still.
get it. I mean, you can throw those stats, and it does make sense. I mean, trust me, man, we're as frustrated of
I'm
anybody.
not going to run away from it. That
No,
doesn't
no,
mean
we're
that this
frustrated at
year,
anybody
Just
that-
like
this
last
stuff.
year, the Jalen looked horrible in Tampa.
Well-
Jalen looked horrible in Tampa playoff.
But let's be real. I mean,
And you
when
know
we're
what?
looking at the past
Yeah,
20-something
go ahead.
years, I mean, has this defense even looked anywhere like this?
No.
No,
And
no,
Space
nowhere.
Cowboy brought up a point, okay, that I really didn't think about and use it. You know, Eagles rolled last year. They were home, okay? They were home. The only road playoff game they had was the Super Bowl. Now, you could say that they should have won. They didn't, you know. But Dallas was
Michael
on the road.
Dana.
Dallas has only had 2 home playoff games in recent memory. It's hard to win on the road.
It's gonna be hard.
It just so happens that the Cowboys going into the Tampa game last year were like, oh, well, it's tough. Are they going to choke again? Well, they blow them out. Dak looks incredible. literally freaking incredible. Had a perfect QB rating in a road playoff game, and now it's Tampa sucks. Winning playoff games on the road is very hard.
That defense was really good.
I'll just leave it there. I'm not gonna. Jay Smooth.
Oh wow.
GameTime Bryan. Stephen A. Smith gave a shout out to Law Nation. Yeah, lost his mother. Yeah,
that's awesome. I feel bad for him just because that's when it rains it pours kind of thing is happening right now to him.
That's how it works.
We can just as a community just be there for him. Just
that our YouTube family is actually
they help
some pub. And a lot of these guys that are already on TV, all of a sudden they're now coming to YouTube. I'm not going to name names. We've been through it. Now they want their hand in the pot, and it's like, and they're giving these people who have an audience a hard time. To go scratch, okay? Especially with how the economy is and how expensive things are. More and more people are coming to YouTube. And all of a sudden now
when you have a
big wigs want to have their hand in the pot.
When you have a mainstream medium that likes to take a narrative and just kind of like they run across no matter what platform.
Education in broadcast
journalism and all that.
Whatever.
Yeah. I got an opinion. I'm an American.
I got a degree from the School of Hard Knocks.
Yes,
tough guy.
Yes.
But anyway,
I like to see you come over here and do it.
What's up, Mike Aldana? Yeah.
But you know what? What I'm excited about, we had on Saturday, of course, football. Friday was it Friday? Thursday. Man, it's been already that many days. It's been that long. Yeah, I am. It's just us doing this broadcast.
I'm the one that's lagged.
Yeah. Well, we got next Saturday coming up. We got the Cowboys finally playing a game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Of course, you probably won't see starters.
What are we going to do with that game, Phil?
That's what I was questioning. I was asking you whether we were going to do a broadcast of the game. We need to start getting into that.
In the game.
I think so too.
Let's give it a try. I already told Mark, and Mark will zoom us in and out. And
I got our Zoom, and I can do something on our side. But we had originally Joe Rod, and Mike from Cowboys Corner. The Cowboys blog obviously going to come on, and I think we might change that up just because I don't want to stress about when it's going to come on, and if we double it, and so we'll probably reschedule it with them, which they're amazing. Again, they have an opposite view from a lot of stuff, and a lot of the things that they've said have unfortunately have come true, and but you're hoping that it's not the same Cowboy team. I definitely have to give credit to the front office because it has been a different offseason than what it's been in the past. That doesn't mean that the next year is going to be the same. We've seen, they fall into their habits and stuff, and, you're just hoping that Stephen Jones is getting better. I still don't, when we were talking about contracts, of course, Diggs I thought was the odd man out. And the fact that he was able to get some money.
Would be the tough one to get done, but
yep.
That's just, I think I get leaned sometimes, towards the media, because, people say, well, that's going to be the hard one. Then when you really look into it and you realize he doesn't have a fifth-year option, whereas CD does, not that I don't want CD done. When you really look into it, it made a lot of sense. But, we have to start, we're smart guys. There's a lot of smart people. We need to start thinking for ourselves sometimes. I will follow these certain people too much, and it's listen to every word they say. I think I need to take it in, digest it, think about it, but you know how it is. It is what it is. I'm glad it got done. That's all that matters. I'm glad it's done.
Geo Auto says, have we talked about Sirianni cussing out Hurts at practice and how he obviously doesn't appreciate
talked about it. It is what it is. I don't even care.
I don't care because it's like a coach and a quarterback. That's going to happen. That's just it doesn't mean anything to me. That doesn't mean he doesn't respect or anything like that. It's just what should happen. Let's be real. I hope our coaches are cussing at Dak Prescott. What the fuck, I want
Sirianni,
that. I don't mind that.
Sirianni has been doing that for forever. It seems like that's how he does. So, him and Hurts are fine. It's just.
Yeah, it's understandable. Some of those throws, he's not the greatest thrower. Let's be real. He's not the greatest thrower, and they design an offense to help him with his throws to make them more wide open, and so that's great. That's what the offense is all about, to try to eliminate the flaws.
We'll be here to see what opposing defenses do about that rushing game this year by the quarterback. We'll see. Can he do it again? Because he's going to have to do it again in order to get where they get.
Well, we're preparing
Will he stay
ourselves.
healthy?
Yeah,
So
I mean,
we'll see.
we're definitely
Not
preparing
wishing-
ourselves.
I hope he stays healthy.
No, I definitely
Please,
do.
please.
Well, you heard their linebackers. I mean, let's talk about their linebackers. We're going to jump on some of this stuff. They
Eagles?
pick up.
We're talking Eagles?
They pick up. Well, I mean, there are the East. I mean, we do have to worry
All right.
about our East
Don't
guys.
hate us, people. Don't hate us.
But they pick up linebackers. I mean, Miles Jack to me is a good linebacker. I think that was a great pickup by them. Unfortunately, it is. It's a really good pickup. But what happened with the Nakobe Dean talk? What happened with all that? He's better than Parsons. If you're going to talk anybody on that defense that was anything last year that would make people kind of go, okay, we got to worry about him, was Reddick. I mean, Hassan Reddick was kind of everywhere, and he was a hard guy to block. So I mean, he's back again. Whether you'll keep him for the long run, who's to say? But
Who's that? Jalen?
Hassan Reddick.
Yeah, well, it's pretty sad though, Eagles 2024 champs, that all this talk about the defense. You have a young offensive line. Hargrave is gone, so Jordan Davis has to do it. Dallas has some young guys who have to do it as well, but Jordan Davis actually has to do it. The talk is
because he's going to be
over with
replacing
him.
Cox. Cox is going to be out of there. Probably one more year. You probably have with him.
And we'll see what Jalen Carter does. I love Jalen Carter. We'll see what he can do as a rookie. Just remember, as a rookie.
But I mean, they got some big bodies to kind of rotate around there. So I mean, that's good for them.
That's not bad.
But when you talk about that, I mean, you look at our camp. I think me and you talked about it. We got some big guys in there. Where there's Smiley Smith, Hankins doing some great things in line. But you talked about how this offensive line is still paving the way for the running game, and so that's what you're seeing, even with the Zach Martin missing out.
Yeah.
And so I like seeing that. Of course you don't like seeing your guys, but again, you got to take the positive and the negative. I mean, each play, the offense did great. Well, guess what? The defense didn't do so good. Oh, the defense did amazing with the interception. Well, the offense didn't do it. So it's just that's what I don't like too much about the training camp, is because as much as you can be happy about the play on one side, you're not happy about that play on the other side, and that's why I like more of the competition against each other teams. So that's why I'm ready to get some preseason going. We already got one game under our belt in the sense of the Hall of Fame game. How was the atmosphere at the Hall of Fame game?
Shout out to Mark Hudson with the $1.99.
Oh, Mark, sorry, thank you. Let me get
push
Mark
that
in here.
thumbs up. I don't care. Thanks a lot, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Mark. Thank you,
appreciate it.
thank you, man. You
And
guys
I'm
are
looking
amazing.
at my subscribers, I got another 7
What?
since we started. So I'm up to
You're
417.
gonna be packing out, chipping it in no time.
I get another 93. I'm doing
Then we
the
both got to
chip,
do it. I say we
so-
both
and
got to do it. Okay.
Me and Phil will do a show.
Yeah.
Just
'Cause
on
I'm
that.
already- yeah,
Hopefully
they-
by the end of it may be this week sometime. It may be by the weekend.
Oh yeah, something to look forward to.
The way it's going.
Get some guy in the milk.
So, hey, honey, go get me some Tums.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway,
I can't come into work the
but
next
yeah.
day.
G.O. Auto, we were one blown coverage away from Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Listen, man, I agree with you, G.O. Auto. I do, but I'm not going to sit here and make excuses, man. That was an awesome throw to a Cook, the tight ends. It broke my heart, but it is what it is, man. It's time to get it done. Lord Nova, I thought the QB's job was to throw the football, not run. That's why TP for Hurts, the NFL highest paid running back.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
I'm going to be nice and say Jalen Hurts had a great year. He had a great year. Now, it's 1 year, and we're going to see if he can do it again. I don't want to make this about, I think Hurts stinks. He has pressure on him. I think the whole team has pressure on him, especially with the lofty
I think if they just keep it simple,
Excuse me.
they should be fine.
Well,
But,
their goals are saying 13, 14 wins. They're definitely going to the Super Bowl. You're seeing injuries already hit them, which sucks.
I don't like
seeing
seeing that
Kobe
for any
Dean.
team. I wish you could turn off.
Not looking great.
I wish you could
So
turn off
you're-
their injury button like Madden for the season.
Yeah. Everybody's saying the Kobe Dean. Let's see. Let's give the young guy. That's why he slipped in the draft. He's undersized. He can tackle, but he's got a lot of question marks too. He's very raw. So I like Nolan Smith actually. I think Nolan Smith's probably gonna have the best year out of all their young guys.
I could agree with that. Yeah.
I'm not. I think Jalen's going to be good, but interior lineman, as a rookie, just look back. look at Jordan Davis last year, and you're going to say Jalen's better.
Yeah,
than Jordan,
I just
okay,
like when I look at defensive tackle, I don't look
offensive
too much.
linemen
I don't look too much at
own-
stats. It's like what did everybody else do around you? So I mean, was everybody
Yeah.
else able to get tackles? Were you taking on the blocks like you should and freeing up your linebackers? So I mean, that's what I'm interested.
Yeah. I would say Gio Otto, stats wise, he was I think number one from throwing in the pocket last year. Now, listen, man, I don't like saying that, but Jalen
he was
did
like
have a great year.
Because he was like a special teams punter that threw the first down. And you're like,
you know,
he throws one
I'm not
time
sitting
and
here
it's like the
blowing
best
smoke.
average.
That's a stat. That's not me being an Eagle.
Everybody
pumping
else
up
had
the
like
Eagles.
40 out of 50 attempts, and
Now,
he's
like I
like
said, they went out and got AJ Brown.
9 out of 10.
They have the best offensive line. Dallas Goedert. Everybody stayed healthy for the most part. Everything went their way, and that's what he did. Now we got to do it again. You making the big money. You just can't have one big year, okay? You got to have a big year, and then another big year, and then another big year. Because you know what happens? Now they look at your contract and go, well, now you got to win. Now you got to throw 30-some touchdown passes, for
You
the
know what
money
I
that
give
you're
them
making.
credit about though too is this time they actually went out and got a quarterback. I mean, it's not an all-star quarterback or a Pro Bowl, but they got a quarterback that was more in the sense of how Jalen plays a little bit.
More.
And not. I mean, Minshew is like, as much as I do like Minshew is a good quarterback. He's not the same style, so the offense had to change. If something happens this time around, Mariota, he can run some. He can throw on the run. So to me, your RPOs, all that kind of stuff, they can continue on, and so I think that was a very good signing for that. I mean, I'm not saying that he's going to come in and start winning a bunch of games. He hasn't been able to keep any kind of starting job, so I think that says something. But some of these guys, we've all said it. I mean, we look at coaches like, for example, Dan Quinn. We all love Dan Quinn, but everybody will agree that as a head coach compared to a defensive coordinator, I mean, he's just a better defensive coordinator. So I think it in the same thing. Is he a starting quarterback? No, but is he a great backup quarterback? I think he can be. And I think in that system, I think he'll definitely be better than what Minshew was. So anyways, but when we talk about that, I look at our backup quarterbacks. When I look at Rush, look at Greer, I'm liking Camp. I'm surprised by Rush a little bit. He's definitely been pretty accurate.
I like Rush. I think Rush is going to be our.
He knows the offense.
I think we should. This is what I think we should try and do. I think we go with two quarterbacks and try and bring Will Greer back to the practice squad.
Yeah,
that's what I want to do. I think Rush has played very well, but we got to play the games.
Mm-hmm. But you like what he's doing. I mean, yeah,
I do like what he's doing.
He knows what he needs to do with the ball.
We can't keep three. We can't keep three.
No, not with all the other positions that we need to keep more people at. Running back, we don't know what's going to happen there because you obviously got to think about the suspension that's going to happen. What happens with Jones' position? Who's the three running backs now that you're going to keep compared to who gets cut later when Jones comes back. So, I mean, tight end room, you look at that. You might want to keep a fourth guy there. What's the defensive line going to look like? Because, man, that is a lot of talent that you don't want to kind of just drop off. We saw again, we're going to bring it up, but you saw what happened with Ridgeway last year. And you just got to really be strategic of who you're really, dangling out there. And that was the wrong guy, man. I mean, we could have dangled a lot better stuff out there that we could have signed back. I mean, Carlos Watkins was sitting there. So, I mean, there was guys. I mean, even Gallimore. Do you think Gallimore? I mean, you're seeing Gallimore right now just getting blown up by backups. And so that to me is a little bit of concern. Have you seen anything good about Gallimore?
He's probably not going to be here. And it is what it is, man. It is what it is. When you're that deep,
you got a ball. I mean, the preseason is going to mean stuff.
I want to go young. I told you this last year. Remember? I mean, going into last year.
Yeah, that Leo DiCaprio thing.
Because they're special teams aces. All right, we can keep one of those guys.
We need a special teams ace as a kicker.
Yeah. Well, let's touch on that. Our kickers are not good, people. I don't care what anybody's telling you. We're the most prestigious, whether the Eagles fans like it or not. We're America's team. We're the most prestigious team out there. When the Cowboys are on, they're on Primetime. They're the most watched. Love them and hate them. That's why. Mm-hmm. And we're going with bottom basement friggin' kickers.
That's the truth.
48.
I found it in the clearance section. He was like,
Yeah.
it's
so
sticky.
it's like get Mason Crosby in here, get Robbie Gould in here. Now it's gonna happen, or it'll be somebody who's released. So they will get a kicker, but our kicker is not on the team right now. So just know that. Nova. So the Eagles going to use their
third quarterback for the passing downs and Hurts for running plays. Running to the
shots fired.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Football's in the air. We got a lot of talk about it in the sense I'm pretty sure we left some stuff out.
Hey guys, I love the back and forth. The Eagles that show up and
man, but both have ammo.
As long as you guys keep it cool and don't get too carried away. We're all right with it. But,
and I like it. I mean, even on Facebook, I got into it with somebody.
Back, baby.
I got it with somebody, and then I kind of cut it off. I was like, okay, man, we could be here all day, but let's be real, man. Football's near, and rivalries start to pick up, and we kind of have to be able to draw a line as well too. And I think that's what makes this sport amazing. I mean, we're already in there. It was Browns versus Jets. Maybe not a team that we wanted to see, but I think they were smart because they were like, people are going to be hungry, man. They're going to be hungry for football. It's not going to matter who's out there. Let's just put some football out there. And so right now it's just, it's there. Yeah. We get to watch something, get to see the commercials, and whatever. It's just the atmosphere is in the air, and definitely the crap talking is there too. So
Jay Smooth, the Eagles not going anywhere. They lost 7 starters on defense. They add 2 linebackers. So what? That goes the Eagles. Hey Jay Smooth, I need to see if Mark will give me that buck them birds. Maybe we could use that every now and again. But I didn't see Mark Hudson. I think that was made for me. I didn't see. I saw one Eagle fan at the Hall of Fame, and he seemed like he was all right. He seemed a little lost because he was trying to find all the Eagle stuff, and there was not that much. But but he was cool. And I said this on Mark's live. I hope that Phil, I'd like to go to the Hall of Fame with him one day. It was just awesome. It's a small town feel. It's not owned by the NFL. That's what makes it special. The NFL doesn't own it. So you have a lot of local vendors out there selling licensed merchandise, but it was a cool feel. Not overly packed. It's just small town feel. The city, and you got the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It's not licensed and owned by the NFL. It's local. It's a local. So everything's not ridiculously expensive. It's like going to a college football game. That's how I took smaller stadium. I think it fit like 30,000.
Lord Nova, dude. Whew.
Yeah. So
he's dropping bombs over there. We're already pretty much going into about an hour and a half and everything. So going into this upcoming thing, so we're gonna, we'll probably talk about it during the week, but I think that's something we want to do. We probably want to broadcast during the game, talk about it. See, we're gonna talk about backups. We're not expecting anything.
Well, we need
if
to
they
do
throw
it
5
too,
interceptions,
we
whatever.
Have never done it.
Yeah, we kind of have to get it under our belts and get it going.
Yeah,
and man, I'm looking forward to the season.
It works with the delay because.
I'm going to try to make it. I think I can help a little bit to where it's not as a delay.
But I may be different than you.
That's
what
true.
I'm saying.
Oh, that is true. I don't mind.
have cable anymore. I have.
Well, I go up. I'm upstairs.
I'm
upstairs, and somehow it's a delay in my studio compared
Either
to
way,
downstairs.
we'll make it fun.
Yes,
and Mark's gonna.
And I appreciate all the super chats. I appreciate everybody coming through. I mean, I feel like we're going to grow very well this year. Again, we have great chats. You guys have amazing points. So I love it. I love the back and forth that we have. People coming through, even watching on the replays and sharing and talking it out, being brought up to the community. Man, I could not have dreamt of where this has kind of gone. Even when we went to the draft, meeting everybody, Jay Tuck, there was just these guys, of course, DMV
Kelly
that
K9
showed us.
DMV,
Kelly K9, but DMV and Mark seeing what they were doing. So it's just been a crazy past year.
Yeah,
and
I was telling Mark the other day, Phil, I know it's Detroit, but now that we've been there and we saw it, I'm gonna go. It would be nice if you could go, if we both could go to the draft. I don't know that Mark's necessarily going. I haven't really talked about it, but it's a long way off. But now it's a little different now. You know?
Yeah, it's a different feel. Yeah, oh yeah, I agree. I definitely agree.
It would be cool to go.
Yeah.
I think it would be cool. That was a great time. It really was. I don't know how Detroit's gonna be, but whatever. The NFL area will be fine. So, but anyway, yeah, man, it was great. I hope you can get to the Hall of Fame too.
Hell yeah, awesome. Hell yeah. So, but anyways, anything you want to talk about before we get out of here? Because obviously we have a ways.
Baby.
It's
coming.
It is.
It's coming. We're doing it.
So expect
share this on. If you guys could share it, that would be great.
Yeah, that would be. I help grow our channel and yeah, you see the moderators. We put a lot in there, and as we see, we kind of put you in there.
And add some more now that we're getting more.
We're getting more. Yeah. So as you come through and
chats.
Yeah, we've even, Angelica will definitely tell you. We've even put an eagle in there as a moderator. So she gets all
respectful. I don't care. I don't see Twiz tonight. I hope everything's okay.
I hope everything's okay. He's probably doing some barnyard stuff.
I've been talking to a lot. I'm surprised that then again Philly 500 was on. He's good people. So just remember, that's what I was trying to tell you. I know we're trying to get out of here, but when I went to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, just remember. And this goes to Elena, and this goes to Philadelphia. He doesn't really come in here too much, but that's all right. You guys, like the rivalry is what makes it. Zach Thomas's speech at the Hall of Fame, he laid it out. He said he loved the Boos, but in the end, after his career was over, he remembered them the most. The rivalry between the Eagles and the Cowboys is the best in sports, in my opinion. So this rivalry is no different. We just need to keep it nicer, a little nicer. Because when you go to the Hall of Fame, Phil, you see other teams. Everybody's like there to see their people. It's like the game. It's bigger than that. So that being said, you're our rivalry. We love you anyway.
Yeah, man. We definitely. I'm looking forward to the season. Everybody it restarts. I mean, Washington fans have hope. They have new owner. That means they might have later on new stadium. And so that's where I get to the point where I mean they needed something new there, and soon they're gonna have another new name. So I mean until they kind of get their stuff together, they're gonna be kind of a mess. But again, last year they almost made the playoffs, and so until a boneheaded mistake, again starting a quarterback that shouldn't have been involved in that, but. They have a whole different thing this year, and so they have new hope. Everybody has a new slate. I love what this defense is looking towards. It looks like an amazing defense with a lot of depth in every position. This offense, you can get excited about them because we do have weapons. There are some questions about that pass blocking and stuff. But, when you have three-step drops, it's not as bad. You got a lot of more slants. So you got an offensive coordinator and, of course, a head coach that understands situational football. So, hey, I'm ready to watch some football. And, of course, the next time we see you here, it'll be during the live broadcast. So, Game Time, I appreciate you coming through, man. I know you had a long week. And guys, check out his channel. I know he has a lot of videos out there. I even got to do that because there are, of course, some things that I missed in there. And even in Mark's, I mean, we like to jump on there, and Mark has been a big supporter of this channel as well too. So that's definitely help. And by the time Mark pushes to get you 500,
people just remember that.
Yeah, I agree.
Is really we didn't start going live until the actual season. This channel, as far as me being involved, is we're just now getting into a year old, maybe a little less. So. We're just getting started. So it's a blast. It was a blast meeting. I love weed. That's what I'm
I'm a little jelly there. That's where I'm a little.
I'm going to look. Yeah, he's a great guy, too. It's funny when you meet somebody, it's not who you think. It's like total. Yeah. But
that's why everybody thought I was shorter. Everybody thought I was shorter for some reason.
Come on, you got to make him a mod, man. He's throwing
look at that. Yeah, look at this. I need a mod of getting them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy. I appreciate it, Lord Nova. If we see you a couple more times, as we start to grow, you'll definitely be on that list. So hopefully we'll see you. But I appreciate the super chat. I appreciate you coming through, man. Seeing these new faces, new names. I want to put you guys out there, your opinions, because it's Cowboy Nation. You're going to have a whole lot of people. I mean, as you see, you see the Kelly Green jerseys coming out and Eagle fans lining up at 3:00 in the morning. Oh, they're crazy. Well, guess what? We have some Cowboy fans that a whole section of them that would do the exact same thing.
Crazy too.
Yeah. No, you're not crazier than us. We're crazy. Yeah. It's so I mean, to me, we're Cowboy Nation. We have a different people. We have people that are more sophisticated in the sense of, I think we're going to the Super Bowl this year. How about you? Let's toast the industry. But then you have some guys that are just, we're going to the Super Bowl every single year, even when Jason Garrett was showing. So, I mean, that's what I love about Cowboy Nations. You have different opinions and different takes.
Man. Thank you so much, buddy.
You guys are great. I appreciate that, man. You guys, to see that. I see you guys in other chats, and I love jumping in there and being able to say hi to you guys. I mean, that's what I love about it the most. And it's again, I look forward to the future of not only this channel. Hey, don't worry about what I just did. Don't worry about that. It was a premature bringing and stuff. I had to make sure that it was there. Don't be worried about that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, exactly.
I'm not gonna let that shit.
Are you ready to go? Are you ready? Is it the music? Is this the Emmys where the music is orchestra going? You're like, all right. Oh shit! It's barely time to go.
Don't always forget to.
I didn't say it last time, man. So I'm not consistent about any of this stuff.
I gotta stay on my toes with you. It keeps me on my toes.
So Lord knows I appreciate it, man. I love you guys. You guys have been amazing. You guys are awesome trash talking. I do. I love the fact that there's football in the air. And we're ready to get started. So next time we see you, of course, the live broadcast next week, of course, with the Cowboys game going. I mean, we'll probably jump on just a little bit before them, so we'll talk it. But I'm ready, man. I'm ready for some Cowboy football. I'm ready for see some guys hit some other people.
Not a Subway.
What's that?
No, I love weed. We all want 6.
Yes. Yes, the thing. So anyways, thank you for coming through. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for liking. Thank you for talking to trash and comments. I don't mind. I appreciate it a lot. I even saw on there, I saw a dislike on one of those videos. I laughed, so I love it. So anyways, Brian, appreciate you coming through, and I will see you, of course, next weekend. But don't forget to always do what?
Ring that bell.
Damn right, man. I appreciate all you guys.
Hey! We know each other. He's a friend from work.
What you do, you're like a little screw loose type of guy, and I thought that's how I am. So I'm digging it, big guy. I am.
Who are you?
You.
No, not me, you.
Yes, I am you.
Just answer the damn questions. Who are you?
GameTime Bryan, otherwise known as the mailman here.
Cool name. Superpowers?
Broadcasting from the illustrious Jobu Studio.
Come on, are you going to tell me who that is?
Primetime Phil, and of course my co-host, GameTime Bryan.
Oh, Jesus Christ, this place is going to explode. $100,000, I don't even need to hear it.